Imagine being born into a world where the very air you breathe smells like blood, iron, and crushed dreams. A world where your social standing is determined by the color of your caste. Or more precisely, the color of the bioengineered gene pool you've been shoved into. Now what if you could rise? What if, in the blink of an eye, you could smash through the ceiling of your preordained fate and leave behind the world that enslaved you? That's the kind of world Pierce Brown's Red Rising hurls you into, where the stakes are as high as the towering spires of a futuristic society built on ruthless class systems and power plays. So buckle up, folks, because this is going to be a wild ride through a galaxy where the blood isn't just red, it's about to get spilled. Alright, Red Rising is like the Hunger Games meets Romeo and Juliet if you mixed in some Game of Thrones political intrigue, all set against a backdrop of a brutal, hyper-advanced future. At its core, it's a story about vengeance, identity, and the fight against oppression. But also, it's about the thrill of seeing someone tear apart the entire universe just to claw his way out of the gutter. Our protagonist Darrow is a young miner on Mars. Yep, Mars, Red Planet. Not just a cool sci-fi destination, but the gritty, back-breaking hellscape where society has built a new order. And that order is messy, to say the least. The world is split into a color-coded hierarchy, with the golds at the top, the super-rich, genetically modified elite who rule everything with an iron fist. And the reds at the bottom, the laborers who dig deep into the Martian soil, unaware that their entire existence is a lie. Darrow and his fellow Reds toil away, believing they're doing it all to make Mars habitable for future generations. Spoiler, they're wrong. The Golds have already terraformed Mars centuries ago. The Reds are just slaves for their amusement. This is the moment Darrow's life takes a tragic, fiery turn. When his wife, Io, is brutally executed for the crime of singing a song of rebellion. Yep, that's how brutal this world is. Darrow decides he's done living as a pawn in the Gold's game. And that moment of righteous fury is where Darrow's journey into a world of revolution, deception, and bloodshed truly begins. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what makes Red Rising special? Why is this book such a big deal? It's not just a simple revenge story. It's not just a tale of a man fighting for justice. This book dives headfirst into the absolute ugliness of class systems, of the way power consolidates itself and how people are twisted, broken, and reshaped by it. Darrow's transformation from a humble Red to something far more dangerous is as emotional as it is physical. He's literally reborn, or Red Rising, as he fights to infiltrate the Gold's world and tear it apart from the inside. And trust me when I say this, Darrow is not a hero you'll just root for because he's good. He's morally gray, ruthless, and capable of things that will make you question just how far you'd go if you were in his shoes. This is not your average boy with a destiny tale. Darrow's journey is one of intense sacrifice, where every move he makes comes at a personal cost. He is deeply flawed, and it's that humanity buried beneath the anger and vengeance that makes his story so compelling. The plot takes off when Darrow is transformed by a mysterious rebel group, the Sons of Ares. Through a series of surgeries, he's genetically altered to become a Gold. Physically stronger, taller, faster, smarter. Basically everything the Reds will never be. This is where the real mind games begin. Darrow's new body allows him to infiltrate the Gold's high society. But getting there isn't as simple as just showing up. To get into the Gold's elite academy, he has to prove himself worthy by literally fighting for his survival in a brutal, gladiator-style competition. The world building in Red Rising is intense, fully realized, and brutal in ways you can't quite imagine until you experience it for yourself. The Golds are not only physically dominant, they're also psychologically terrifying. Every single one of them is a product of eugenics, raised to believe in their superiority and trained to manipulate, kill, and outwit anyone who stands in their way. Darrow has to outthink and outfight these sociopathic geniuses. And the Academy, it's a cruel game where students are ranked based on their ability to control armies, manipulate others, and destroy their enemies, sometimes with nothing more than a smile and a sword. Think Lord of the Flies meets the Hunger Games, but way darker and more political. The kids at this academy aren't just fighting for survival, they're fighting for ultimate power. It's like a super intense version of Survivor, but instead of challenges, you're dealing with betrayal, alliances, murder, and backstabbing. Darrow's main rival in this game is the indomitable and coldly strategic Cassius Bellona. He's a Gold through and through, with everything a man like Darrow could never have: wealth, status, power. But as much as Cassius seems like the villain, there's a deep complexity to his character that makes him far from one-dimensional. What makes this story so engaging is that Brown doesn't just present a clear-cut battle between good and evil. Instead, he presents a world where everyone is fighting to survive, even the people who are supposed to be the enemy. And that makes the stakes feel much, much higher. But Darrow doesn't play this game by the usual rules. He starts to manipulate the system and build alliances with a diverse range of characters who each have their own motivations, secrets, and flaws. Some of them are the good guys, but others, not so much. There's a whole spectrum of characters in Red Rising, from morally ambiguous allies to terrifying antagonists, and every single one of them adds a new layer of complexity to the story. What's so exciting about Red Rising is that Darrow never just takes the easy route. He doesn't just throw punches and hope for the best. He schemes, he plays the long game, and he takes every opportunity to turn the odds in his favor. It's not just a fight for survival, it's a fight for revolution. The beauty of this book lies in how much it asks of its readers. Pierce Brown doesn't hold your hand. He pushes you into this savage world, forces you to think about power, society, and the human condition. It's a book that will make you angry, make you think, and make you cheer for a character who's both deeply flawed and completely relatable in his desire to change the world. It's brutal, it's raw, and it's the kind of story you'll want to talk about long after you've finished the last page. Red Rising is not a book you can just read and forget. It's the start of a series that'll make you think about every decision you make, every moment of betrayal, and every opportunity to rise above your circumstances. It's a thrilling, action-packed roller coaster of a book that'll keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. The stakes, astronomical; the journey, epic; the payoff, worth every drop of blood, sweat, and tears. So, what are you waiting for? Get ready to join Darrow and a cast of characters you'll love and hate in equal measure, and take the first step into a world where nothing is as it seems, and everything is on the line. Red Rising is one of those books that once you start, you won't be able to put down. And trust me, you'll be itching for more. If you've read this book, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss my next review.